Happy Wednesday. How are you on this amazing Wind Down Wednesday? Welcome to Get to Know Bob, this amazing platform where we do just that. We get to know some amazing Black business owners, founders of nonprofits, authors, musicians, um, just a plethora of people doing amazing things in the community, right? I think that covers the majority of it when I say that. But we are still always finding new and innovative Bobs throughout our community. So keep them coming. If you know of some amazing Bobs that need to be highlighted and featured on Get to Know Bob, make sure you reach out to us. If you are not already a subscriber, we ask that you go ahead and click that subscribe button here on our YouTube channel. We thank you for your support. Of course, if you appreciate the content that we bring to you, introducing you to new phenomenal Bobs, then go ahead and subscribe and make sure you share with others. I am your host, Sonia M. Weaver, and I am excited to do our Q3 recap on tonight. It is always a joy when I get an opportunity to review conversations that we've had with previous guests. I absolutely love those recaps because you always find those good nuggets in that conversation. If you have missed any previous episodes, make sure you go back and watch them for yourself. There is always so much inspiration and advice that comes from our guests throughout our conversations, and you just will benefit really from having the opportunity to watch them. So I'm gonna tell you, being away from you guys for a couple of weeks has gotten me discombobulated a little bit. As preparing for tonight's show, some things in my schedule were a little different than they've been before. And so I apologize if I'm a little bit late coming on. Those who watching me live, I appreciate your support. It is really amazing how you can get out of sync so quickly. But I am so glad to be back. We are definitely going to have a few more live shows for the rest of 2023 as we begin to transition into 2024. Remember, in 2024, we're going to still be coming to you every Wednesday from 7 to 8, but we're going to be doing some pre-recording. We have come to find out and realize, of course, we cannot predict technology. We cannot predict what might happen with the weather. We cannot predict a lot of things. So if we go ahead and do some pre-recording, that will allow for us to have a stream show, with minimum issues being presented to you. And plus, it will open up the opportunity for some guests to be a part of Get to Know Bob, as we will be able to offer more recording opportunities versus this only live hour segment on Wednesday. So sometimes it doesn't mesh with guest schedule, and therefore they have not had an opportunity to be on the show. Being able to record in advance will allow for them to do so. We're just evolving and growing, and we are so appreciative of your support. Again, if you are not a subscriber, make sure that you subscribe today. All you have to do is go onto your YouTube channel, do a search for Deals with Bob. And if you're here, you've already found us, just make sure you click that subscribe button since you're already here, okay? Now, I have a couple things to catch up from because I've been gone for a couple of weeks, and rightfully so. It started off the week that my brother got married. Yes, my little big brother got married, and it was a phenomenal wedding. Everything was beautiful. You can see him pictured right here with my new sister officially, Tiffany. And they were extremely happy. I've only included, there's so many pictures. We had an amazing time. I've only included a few that I just absolutely love. So there I am with my husband. It's always a good time to get dressed up and go out and enjoy the night with my husband. I appreciate his support. And then right in the middle, you see my little big brother. That is, yes, he's an entrepreneur as well. Has an amazing company called Bright Tech Communications. If you have not reached out to him and you're in the Metro Detroit area, make sure you do so. If you're looking for those security, surveillance to make sure your properties and your businesses are protected is huge when you're not around, then you definitely want to reach out to Bright Tech Communications. And or if you want seamless installation of like your media, your televisions, etc., your monitors, then yes, he can have that done for you as well. And on the far end is my new official sister, Miss Tiffany C. Brooks. Yes, her name is now Tiffany C. Brooks. Can you get excited? And it was just a night of enjoyment to be had. Now, if you don't know, here's me and my brother and our older sister, who is also a phenomenal author and entrepreneur and founder of Stepmom Sanity. So, as you can see, it's in the blood. We love solving the needs of the community and making an impact in people's lives. It is just part of a thing that I guess our family kind of loves doing, because there's a lot of entrepreneurs and founders of nonprofits and authors within our family. This weekend had so many amazing pictures. I just tried to highlight a few of them. Of course, I have phenomenal pictures of my parents and I, and then I'm just out of town guests. And one thing that was unique is that my sister's also a minister, and Tiffany's brother is also a minister. So they actually officiated the service. They got officiated by two ministers, the bride's brother and the groom's sister. So it was just an all around amazing weekend. It started off with us doing family karaoke versus family against family. And it just ended with all family blending at the end of the night. It was so much fun, a great way to start off a wedding weekend. Ended it with dinner so that out of town guests and everyone who was in town could spend time with the couple, and just a phenomenal weekend. So after that weekend, just this past weekend, had an opportunity. If you did not attend, you missed out. The 2023 Freedom Fund dinner for the Western Wayne County NAACP. And the keynote speaker was the president and CEO of the NAACP, Mr. Derek Johnson, and had a phenomenal message that he gave on this past weekend, this past Sunday. So there's a few pictures of with some people. I mean, it was so many people there. I guess maybe I was a little pictured out from the previous weekend, so I didn't get a chance to take pictures with everyone. But pictured in there is obviously pictured with my phenomenal mother, who is also an entrepreneur. She's a phenomenal therapist at Tranquility Christian Counseling. And then got an opportunity to talk with Mr. Marvin Cotton. And he, a phenomenal book out, and we will be booking him to come on the show soon. And he was basically incarcerated for a crime he didn't commit, and finally got exonerated. And the work he's done since being released is beyond amazing. And his story is to the level of forgiveness that had to happen out of a 20 years of your life is just something that is just inspirational. And I want to make sure that his story gets to you so that you can share it with others. Also pictured is Pastor Hearn, who is a powerhouse within the community, and a few other people that I've met at the event. Was honored to take pictures with some who have been on the show, as you can see, and just some that are just close friends of mine. It's always a great opportunity to connect with people. We know we bring up that C word, that COVID word. If you're fortunate to be here post COVID, because not everybody was, it was a very stressful time. And we remember what we went through not so long ago, only 3 years ago. It's not so long ago. So I don't want to forget our history of what we went through, but being isolated and alone and not being able to share moments with people was really eye-opening, and allowed you to appreciate really the importance of fellowship and friendships. And it was just a good time to reflect and share with people and celebrate freedom fighting, because the fight does continue for those that are disenfranchised within our government, within our country. And so the fight for the NAACP and what it was built on continues, because there is still disparity. There are still wrongs that happen and systemic systems that we need to fight against. So that was an amazing weekend. Make sure you attend if you have not attended an event, because this is one of the major fundraisers that allow for multiple events to happen throughout the year for the organization. And then just on this week, had an opportunity to be a part of BUF of Michigan as they had students at the Federal Reserve teaching them financial literacy. And as you know, that is a passion of mine to always get together and share intellectual property, intellectual knowledge, especially with our youth, to get them ahead of the game and understanding what financial literacy means and the impact that it has for them right now as well as their future. And if you can see at the top, you have the phenomenal Gail Perry Mason, who has Money Matters for Youth. So her mission is always making sure that she is providing financial literacy to our youth. Of course, I had an opportunity to share a little bit with them about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship, you know, is a way of financial independency and wealth, and that you can leave for generations to come. So yes, that is passion in my heart. And I was just fortunate to be a part of it and appreciate the opportunity to be a part of the Black United Funding BUF. Well, so I hope you had a great weekend and getting excited. Hey, thank you, Tin. How are you? Oh, I appreciate you for joining. Yes, we're about to have an amazing recap. So much was done in Q3, and I'm excited to give you a recollection. So if you missed out on anything in Q3, you would get sparked enough to want to go back and watch the entire conversation with the guests, because it would definitely be worth your while. So let's get started, shall we? Okay. We had on July 26th, because we had some breaks in July, you know, with summer vacation and those different things. So on July 26th, we spoke with the phenomenal Kiera Chapman. She is the founder of Ascensions with Poise Healing LLC. And we had, a question for her just to find out basically what she did and explain it to us in a little bit more detail. Take a look.
It's a Japanese term. It's of Japanese descent. It means Rei means universal, and Ki is life force energy. So this life force energy flows through me, through you, through everything, even that's in our universe. So with Reiki, it's believed that the Reiki practitioner is the channel of that energy and helps clear what's called chakra. Everyone has a chakra points in the middle of their body. So it's basically energy points, that different energy points in your body that the practitioner will focus on to help you clear out any stagnant energy that may be keeping you from basically healing and moving forward in your life. And you would be surprised how much energy affects. Like, you can just walk down the street and you might, pass somebody, and depending on, their mood, how that affects you.
Exactly. So yes, exactly. I'm sure you've had an experience where someone else's energy can alter yours, and it tends to be the negative energy. One thing that came out of that conversation as well is that one negative comment can actually counteract 16 positive ones. So negative energy is huge. Be mindful of who you have in your circle so that they're not sucking out your good energy. Energy, we've learned in physics, it doesn't disappear, right? It is not eliminated at all. Energy is transferable. So be mindful. Yes, we do carry those energies within us. I know I have had days where it is just what I call blah. And I cannot put a word on it. I can't express where it comes from. I just feel blah. That's why I call it that. And I began actively to do things that are positive in order to bring in some energies that will address that blah to help it go away. I'm telling you, energy is true, and to get yourself centered is so key. I myself have not looked further into Reiki, but I have had some frequency therapy. Shout out to Dr. Rose Moulton here in the metropolitan Detroit area for her sound therapy business that is located in downtown Detroit. Amazing therapy. And it just, frequency, if you listen on YouTube, can help you. White noise, such as, the oceans and birds chirping and nature, all of those things help center us. So make sure you watch the show if you missed it, that we had with I'm about to lose my mind, right? Ascensions for Healing. Make sure you watch that previous show. Wow, I'm telling you, it's been a long day, so bear with me. Next, we talked on August the 9th with Lisa Underwood of I Am a Detroit Girl Clothing Company. And it was a phenomenal conversation. The snippet that we're going to show is basically why she started her business. The why is always so important. Let's take a look.
Okay, well, my name is Lisa Underwood, and I started I'm a Detroit Girl because I wanted to be able to leave a legacy for my kids and my grandkids. Plus, I love fashion and I love Detroit, um, and it was important for me to show the pride of Detroit through my clothing brand.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, when exactly then did you start?
Let's see, I started in 2012. Oh. Yeah, I actually started the Detroit style brand, and I'm a Detroit Girl was one of the designs, that I created for that brand. And I noticed that people were drawn to that design, so I decided to give it, its own spotlight and make it its own brand. People just gravitated towards it and they loved it, and so that's how I started with Detroit Girl.
So, I Am Detroit Girl can start with a dream. That's what I loved about it. And then she listened to what people were gravitating towards and elevated that as more emphasis of the brand. Meeting the need and following your client base is huge in business. So kudos to Lisa Underwood for recognizing the I Am Detroit Girl brand was as phenomenal as it is. We then spoke with the phenomenal chef Jacob Guyton, who is a young chef on the rise, and I had the pleasure of knowing personally through Money Matters Camp. He talked about, to me, being mindful of what you truly want and then marketing it accordingly. Let's take a moment to see what he had to share.
It varied, and I was kind of sad though, because I feel like the people I was going against, and I'm not trying to call myself cocky, but I just knew that I could have been number one in my segment. I really did. I feel like I definitely should have promoted myself more. I did slack off a little bit, just focusing on school and everything else, but I definitely could have promoted myself way more than what I did. Remind you, I do appreciate my village for even contributing, because I know that's money that they took out themselves to see me thrive. But I definitely wish that I could have put more focus and did way more marketing on myself to make sure I did win. Like it's a spot on Instagram where you can promote your posts around different other profiles on Instagram, so they see your post and decide to be interested in to donate. So I made my mom make sure every day, Jacob, did you post? No. Sometimes I'll be slacking. And my mom will have to get back on me to make sure I was right. My dad, did you post? My auntie, did you post? Or I'll even receive text. I voted. Make sure you post today. So I was definitely just slacked a little bit, but I promise you next year it's gonna be a totally different ball game and I'm gonna be ready.
So Jacob said something so key. He was like, sometimes you be slacking. And hey, let's be real. We are very busy when you're truly committed, Bob. And sometimes you do be slacking when it comes to promoting and marketing what you're doing. I love though his enthusiasm. We all can learn from that. Next year it's on and popping. So it's like, even when you recognize, yeah, I didn't really put my whole 100% in that, and then you can see the results of it. So you acknowledge it. It's not like, they just did me wrong. I didn't win. None of that. No, you recognize where you might have just slacked, right? And you work on addressing it for the next time you're involved. I love that sense of energy and enthusiasm. We all can benefit from that. I know there's been times where I have put on an event and did not get the turnout maybe that I really wanted. And it goes back to the marketing of it. Did I slack off? Was I really promoting it the way I really could have? Did I utilize social media, emails, and text messaging to my advantage to make sure those key players were aware and ask others to share it? So it's always good to take a moment to reflect if you didn't get an outcome that you wanted, and what can you do tangibly to make it change. Thank you, Jacob, for reminding us of that. If you missed that in show, make sure you revisit it. It was a lot of good nuggets in it, and his young enthusiasm, I'm telling you, is very contagious. After that, we spoke with Philomena, who is a holistic health and wellness coach. And we talked to her on August the 23rd. She shared with us why she got into that particular area and field. So let's take a moment to hear why she does what she does.
I am Philomena Guanfogbe. I am originally from Cameroon in West Africa, and I am a certified holistic health coach. What I do is I help individuals to get their life back from pre-diabetes, diabetes, aches and pains, cancer, high blood pressure, name it, by using natural self-healing solutions. Why do I do this? It's a long story, but I will try to cut it short. When I was growing up in the village in Cameroon, my village is called Bali. I saw my aunts sick with cough for a long time. As I was born, I saw her coughing. Nobody took her to the hospital. I heard about hospital, but nobody took her there. Then my grandmother also had a big wound on her leg, and nobody took them out to the hospital. They just treat it with something, whatever, leaves, and it got healed. I'm like, really? They need to take this people to the hospital. I know hospital is where people are killed, but why are they not going to the hospital? So I decided I'm going to be a medical doctor and I'm going to come back to the village and help these people that cannot go out of the village to the hospital. And so that was my plan of helping people to live healthy or to be treated of diseases. So when I finished my high school, I wanted to go to the medical school in Cameroon and I was not selected. I was disappointed. I was like, I need to go to the medical school. I need to help people. So now that I'm not going to the medical school, how am I going to help these people get healthy? So I went to the faculty. As the law would have it, in my first year, I did so well in geology, and I said, no, no rocks. Rocks and health don't go together. So I went on to the second year. And then in my biochemistry class, the teacher said something about nutrition and health. If you eat healthy, you'll be healthy. So good food. I say, yes, this is it. I'm going to follow this. Whatever nutrition is, I don't know, but I know that it's connected to health. So I continue with my study, finish my study in my a country came to Tulane and did a Master of Public Health in nutrition, went back home, worked with people, tried to incorporate protein food to food that we're eating, staple food. Then the Lord blessed me again with another scholarship, and I came to Kansas State University, where I studied in a PhD in food nutrition with major in community nutrition. The reason why I chose that major was because I want to go back to the community and help them to eat healthy so that they will be healthy.
Eating healthy is huge. Nutrition. Wow. There's a lot that I could be saying about that. As you can imagine, we had a great conversation with well being and health. I know that there is a lot of diseases running in our community based on our nutrition alone. And let's be real, a lot of them are killing us unnecessarily because we just have poor eating habits. I have poor eating habits. I'm going to admit it is what it is, but I'm working on it because I don't want to be a statistic under something that could be preventable with discipline. Okay. If nothing else, I control what goes in my mouth, right? No one is sitting here forcing me to eat bad, to eat processed foods, to eat a bag of cheese puffs or anything else, or hostess cupcakes. That's a choice. And while I don't deprive myself of everything, you do have to recognize when you are not doing what you need to do. When you're overeating, when you're eating things that are not good for you, fried foods, processed foods, etc. And I know when I do eat clean, I feel better. And ultimately, isn't that what our goal in life is? To feel better, to have the necessary energies, to not have the aches and pains, and definitely to not leave this world before it's time because we didn't give ourselves good food, good energy. So thank you, Philomena, for the work that you're doing and educating us on nutrition and giving us the opportunity to make better choices. We then had a conversation with Ishmael Terry. He is the founder of All for One nonprofit. This was a phenomenal conversation. He did have technical difficulties, I will admit to it. And hence one of the reasons why we're doing some pre-recording moving in 2024. But we were able to give you a part of the segment which he talks about being honored at such a young age as a trailblazer for civil rights. Let's take a moment to catch that review.
Civil rights leader. What can I do? Right? I know I'm close now, but back then I couldn't tell you how I. So the classmates that was in that was U.S. Congressman John Lewis, Viola Liso. Remember her, that young lady, Jewish young lady who drove the men through Mississippi to get the votes. Rose Day, who was the assistant for Rosa Parks, also was in my class.
Wow.
And so it was truly an honor to be placed with those people, right? Because there are people who have, man, they've sacrificed. I know I sacrificed a lot, right? To achieve what I want. But they've sacrificed, man. One almost lost his life on a bridge, right?
Wow.
And so the two youngest people to ever win that award was Usher, Raymond, and myself at that time.
Congratulations.
We're the only two young black men to ever receive that award to be called a civil rights leader. Now,
that's awesome.
When I looked at the booklet in there, Lou Gossett Jr., Thurgood Marshall broke down because we're at the music hall. And to see my contemporaries, see the people, just to see those people when they asked for the quiet heroes to stand. And I had the opportunity to stand. Some of the people are like, you ain't quiet at all. I don't even know how you be. I don't. But
that was the phenomenal Ishmael Terry, who is one of our quiet leaders who we know is not too quiet, as he said. But it was just amazing to hear his dedication and reflection of when he was an honoree of being a civil rights trailblazer so early on in his walk and dedication with his nonprofit. Then in that conversation, we found out the amazing leaps and bounds and ways he continues to contribute even today. That is a noteworthy episode to review, that conversation, because if you're looking locally to get involved with someone who's committed to making change, committed to making impact, you will want to definitely be a part of All for One nonprofit and the great work that Mr. Ishmael Terry is doing. We then had a conversation with none other than Chef Omar Mitchell, restaurateur and executive chef for Imaginate, the fine dining restaurant, as well as Table Number Two. And then Imaginate is also in the DR. So, yes, he is definitely making huge contributions to the restaurant industry and bringing us an experience with fine dining. Let's take a moment to recap that conversation that he had with us about his particular restaurant located in Royal Oak, Michigan.
So I'm always trying to think outside the box on what can be the next best thing for my portfolio, and I wanted to put uh, the fun back into fine dining, but yet have it destination driven. And so that's when I came up with the ideal of bringing Taste of Miami to Michigan and landed in Royal Oak.
I love it. And on the building, which I'm showing right now at 401 South Lafayette Avenue in Royal Oak, it says that it's a restaurant and a dining experience. Share what that means.
Uh, Again, making sure that when you come into the restaurant, you have that wow factor experience, that unforgettable moment, that moment where you want to take your cell phone out and photograph or video your experience from the moment you walk in, from the entryway to the beautiful bathrooms to uh, the stellar decorations, the cool props that come out to your table, of the food illustrated, uh, to the personality of the staff. All those things are all part of that experience.
Yes, if you have not visited one of Chef Omar's restaurants, you are missing out on a true fine dining experience. You definitely will want to take your cell phone out as soon as you're there, because from the entryway, as he says, to the how it's decorated, to the presentation of the food, everything is an experience and they make you feel like family. The staff there are just phenomenal, at least from my experience. Okay, they are phenomenal, have always been very welcoming and inviting and accommodating, and it is truly an experience, a worthwhile fine dining experience for you to enjoy. So if you have an upcoming celebration, if you just want to get together, if you want to have a romantic evening, you want to definitely make sure you either visit Table Number Two or Imaginate Restaurant. And if you're in the DR, then Imaginate Restaurant definitely should be a stop on your travel excursions while you're there. We also then had a conversation with the phenomenal Dr. Lisa H. Fuller, who is a phenomenal psychiatrist and medical health consultant. And her passion for the work she does is just amazing. I want you to take a moment as we have a recap of what we discussed with the phenomenal Dr. Lisa Fuller.
That's a really interesting question and a very, very valid question. This is going to sound corny, but here we go. But it's true. I two things. I pray and I pray out loud and I talk to God and I remind myself, and it goes back to the puzzle. That puzzle has already been done. I mean, the picture, everything, it was just cut. So I remind myself out loud, but God, this is what you said. But God, this is what you said. You said I was ahead and not to tail. But God, you said that you would protect me. But God, you said. And I am telling myself and speaking that and reminding myself with my ears and my mouth that what he said is true. And I got to keep focused. The second thing I do, and I have like pads and notebooks. I write down the things that I do. I write down my goals. I have daily goals. I have weekly goals, monthly goals, yearly goals. And the reason why is because staying razor sharp. I try to stay razor sharp. I have a million things like most people. But what happens is I don't have sometimes a chance to do everything. But it's like, okay, I'm going to get that done, cross it off. And the reason why I cross it off is because there are chemical changes that occur in the brain. That and it's like, okay, it's done. So so I do that. I do that on purpose to stay focused and I'll give you one last example. When I was in med school, I every single time, and then I went to my residency, I bought a blouse at the end of every week. Every week I bought a blouse. And we're talking to tight that button down the back and the ones with the bows because it encouraged me. Don't stop, keep going.
Don't stop, keep going, and reward yourself. I love both of those things from our conversation. The question that we asked Dr. Lisa H. Fuller prior to her response was what keeps her encouraged. The two things she mentioned are things that I tell my clients, and that's to pray out loud and to do self affirmations out loud. It's something about speaking and hearing what you say that deposits it even more so and affirms it. And then she also said that, just to keep motivating, moving forward makes a difference. All of those phenomenal advice. We had such a good conversation. If you missed it, make sure you head over to YouTube and watch that segment that we had with Dr. Lisa H. Fuller. You would be glad that you did. And as a psychiatrist, you can also now have a name in your repertoire to refer people that might need her services. She did an amazing mental health event that took place on this past weekend, and there's more to come. So make sure that you keep an eye out for different things that we promote, because our health as it pertains to our brain is very important. It is the area that kind of, dictates everything else that happens within our makeup of our body. So we will want to make sure that that organ is functioning just as well as we would when it comes to our hearts, our kidneys, our lungs, and any other organ within our body. We rounded out our conversations for Q3 with the phenomenal Sandra Epps, who is the founder of the Detroit Dow Show, as well as Sandylands Entertainment. Our question to Dr. Sandy had to do with her being a phenomenal author. And so she presented some of her work with us in this segment. Let's take a moment to see what she discussed.
Imagery is everything.
Positive affirmations, mother and daughter, love it.
Yeah. So and so that's all through the boy book, and this one that's geared towards girls. It's the quotes, of course, to remind them that they are kind, they are smart, they are beautiful, and then I wanted to go, and then I have a poem in here. My black doll reminds me in this one. And then let's see, because I know time is ticking. So I'm trying to trying to give you good goods, and then I have Black Boy. Never be ashamed of who you are. When you hurt, it's okay to cry. Just remember to keep your head held high. Black Boy, always believe in you. There's greater opportunities waiting to be introduced to you. Be positive. That's how you excel. Stand focused is the real holy grail. Work hard. This is the ingredients for becoming great. No matter how old you get, it's never too late. Obstacles will come, but these are seeds to help you grow. Black Boy, believe you can succeed. You've been destined to rise up like a king. Black excellence is in your DNA. Always remember this when you lose your way. As a nephew, brother, boy, and when you grow into a man, never forget you are a blessing to this world when you always do the best you can.
I love her commitment to inspiring our youth as well as our women. And this is a wonderful book that we featured and was given away. I love whoever got it. I hope you are enjoying it just as much as we are. And it is a journal for personal transformation. Girlfriend, it is time to soar. There may be an opportunity for us to give this away again, as it is a phenomenal journal to keep. And who knows, we may start off the new year around the holidays or whatever, but be on the lookout. If you do not have this, you can get your own copy as well. But we do find it as a very, very valuable resource and a lovely gift. There's a point on the show where Miss Sandy tells you why you will want to get this book. If you missed that conversation and recap from her mouth to your ears, make sure you go onto our YouTube channel and watch the replay of that episode. Now, here's the good thing. We not only had phenomenal guests during Q3, and we did end, if those who remember the promotion, with Zoe DJ Light, which we have to reschedule. So you'll see that out on YouTube, where I had to really kind of take over the show because we had a live day incident where she wasn't able to join us. And so we did close then out our quarter with Miss Sandy. But we also had some phenomenal events that happened in Q4. So we want to just give you a quick recap of a few of our favorites as we bring you out and tell you a little bit more to remind you. So we had here, I was a special guest on Church, a Whisper Radio experience hosted by Chaos, aka Whisper, and Breezy Brown. If you have not had an opportunity to listen to their podcast, make sure you do so. They were very energetic and we had a great conversation. I encourage you, if you see it on social media, to make sure that you check them out. We promoted the Access Identity Conference that came on August the 5th. Unfortunately, as you know, I was not able to attend, but this was an amazing conference. Dr. Eddie Connor is doing amazing things all throughout Detroit metropolitan area and some other states. He has a new book out. He's part of an upcoming stage play. You will make sure that not only listen to the episode that he was in Q2 about, but then also just make sure you take an opportunity to look at the amazing events that he puts on himself or that he's a part of. Oh, the Women of Grace conference was awesome. It was Tanya Roberson, A Fresh Wind from Tanya Roberson Ministries. This was just an afternoon for women to really come together and reflect and have an amazing time in fellowship. This ministry is doing amazing things within the community, and we are always going to support them as they support us. So if you see something coming up from the Tanya Roberson Ministries, you will want to make sure you participate. Oh, wow. We have several of these phenomenal boss approved events that came up, and Roots Vibration just like killed the summer. So it started off, they were at Continental Commons Park on August the 10th. We talked about the phenomenal Roots Vibration then. And then we had another Boss Entertainment sponsored event for the Energy Concert Series. Let me like bring it down a minute. For the Energy Concert Series, okay, this was with King Mellow Man and Mellow Runnings at the Caribbean Soul Experience, another Boss Entertainment Group approved event. Then Labor Days, another Boss approved event from Roots Vibration at Lapeer Days, I should say. This was happening in August as well. They were killing the summer. I'm telling you, if you miss an opportunity to hear them live, you missed an opportunity, but they definitely will still be doing phenomenal things. So make sure you support. We have our support of True to You Candles, who was part of the Cherry Hill Village Festival. It was a phenomenal event. And if you can ever be a part of True to You and their blend bar experience, you do not want to miss out on that opportunity. Another event at Arts, Beats, and Eats, which is one of the major metropolitan Detroit events, Roots Vibration on the international main stage. Shut the stage down. I cannot wait to hear about more of their upcoming performances. And you know, Boss Entertainment Group is going to keep us posted. Our favorite attorney, Terrence Quinn Esquire, did another phenomenal series on wills and trust in September, and he won't stop. He can't stop, so he won't stop. You have to see some of our previous conversation of why he does what he does with such passion behind the work that he does. It's to make sure that you are protected. Your future is protected through your legacy. So do not wait until it's too late. Make sure you take an opportunity to get your wills and trust in place. We have the Knights of Arts. Oh, that was a phenomenal with Urban Unity. They just had a performance at an art gallery in the metropolitan Detroit area, and they auctioned off art. They had spoken word, they had dancing, and all of this to funnel the funds towards the nonprofit Urban Unity, which is a nonprofit for foster children and foster families. A well put together event, and look for more phenomenal events coming from Urban Unity. The Western Wayne County NAACP had a home buyers workshop where they brought together lending facilities. So you had traditional banks, you had some nonprofit organizations, and some brokerage firms, all having different products that could meet your needs to get you into housing. If you missed this workshop, just follow up with the Western Wayne County NAACP. They will connect you to the executive chairperson over housing within those 24 cities that are represented by this branch. Detroit Book City and their annual Family Fall Book Fair happened on Saturday, October 14th, and they still do phenomenal work throughout the year. We believe in literacy, as you know, and reading is one way to make sure that you stay knowledgeable. So I give kudos to Detroit Book City for encouraging our young people through adults to be engaged in reading. Mona Lisa had a day of healing that happened this past weekend, and you learn how to heal naturally and traditionally. As I said earlier with our guest Philomena, who did nutrition, taking care of yourself from your mind, body to spirit is so important. Total wellness is so important. Make sure you take the moments and opportunities that are necessary to maintain great mental health and natural health for your body. And leading right on into mental health, there was a mental health fair, as I spoke on earlier, with Dr. Lisa H. Fuller that happened on October the 14th, where they educated again on how important it is to take care of our mental well-being. So much phenomenal things happened in Q3. OMG. And of course, as I started off the show with what I participated in was the Freedom Fund dinner for the NAACP Western Wayne County branch, where the president and CEO of the NAACP, Mr. Derek Johnson, had such an inspirational word given at that event. If you want to get involved with the freedom fighters fighting for equal rights and opportunities still to this day that needs to be addressed, make sure you link up with your local branch of the NAACP. Now, those were some of the phenomenal past events that we had throughout our quarter. We had a lot of things that were Boss Entertainment approved. Let's congratulate Boss Entertainment for their work that they continue to do. And as well, they have a brand new music single coming your way. Let's take a moment.
We are B.O.B Entertainment Group Detroit, the premier independent business, media, consultation, performance, and music hub in the United States and Detroit. We now present our B.O.B endorsed song release for this week. We are pleased to release the hot release single, Poppin'.
Construction, we plan it. Dead set moves when we land it. Hey you, tell her what we do. Get it poppin'. Living the dream, let's get it poppin'. Like this. This is what we do. Get it poppin'. Set off the scene. Let's get it poppin'.
This award-winning single is a motivational and uplifting song designed for the dance floor. This blockbuster single is available direct by email B.O.B Entertainment Group at yahoo.com or on all digital platforms. Go to Facebook, Barack and Roll, Instagram at Bossy Detroit, or call 313-528-9677. Stay tuned to Get to Know B.O.B, hosted by the amazing Sonia Weaver, for more exciting independent events, releases, and products from B.O.B Entertainment Group Detroit. B.O.B approved.
We definitely want to thank B.O.B Entertainment Group for their continued support of Get to Know B.O.B and the work that they continue to do, bringing independent artists and phenomenal music to our community. It is just phenomenal how music can relate to everyone. You know, it is not a barrier. It's a way to bring people together in a non-threatening way. And we thank you for the work that you do, the pure music that you bring out with the phenomenal, strong messages. Thank you, B.O.B Entertainment Group, for all the work that you do and for your support. Now, stay connected. There are some amazing events that we want you to grab a pen and get some paper and make sure that you have them marked on your calendar. For this Friday night, register for the decompression sessions. This is where our B.O.B.s come together to celebrate the wins, to let go of the stress, to vent, to share, and to encourage one another. If you have not been to a decompression session, you have missed out. Make sure you register today and attend on this Friday night at 6 p.m. The B Group, that's Black Entrepreneurs, presents The Nightmare Before Breakthrough, Embracing the Authentic You, happening Tuesday, October 25th from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Upcoming, mark your calendars for November the 4th for the Permission to Live and Laugh Day, happening for the Azelle Benet Lockett Foundation. It will help you heal, offering you hope and holding your heart. The Stern Lights Lion Clubs, in conjunction with Mona Lisa's Lyrics, present an entrepreneur extravaganza for business owners, happening Saturday, November the 11th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Tickets are available on Eventbrite. And coming up next Wednesday, October the 25th, we will be having a conversation with Dr. Thembe Aquil, Sensible Living. You will want to make sure that you mark your calendars for our next episode of Get to Know Bob. I hope you have enjoyed our recap. We had a busy and action-packed Q3. And as we get excited moving into Q4, we will actually have our holiday seasons approaching. We will have opportunities to connect you to resources for those who might be going through loss and grieving, because we do know the holidays can be joyful, but they also can be very stressful. They can feel lonely, and you can also have grief. So we're going to make sure you get connected to resources during this time as well. We're also going to start our pre-recording. So as we kick off 2024, we will have episodes playing for you right at the beginning of the year that are all going to be there with phenomenal conversations that we can continue to have with the Bobs out there. We would not be where we're at without your support. So we thank you so much. We thank those for tuning in tonight. I want to say hello, Miss Barbara Biggs, saying awesome recap. She is enjoying it. We thank you. Hi, 10 out there. Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate your support and your kind words and the communicating in the chat between 10 and Barbara. Yes, thank you for your support. Make sure that you continue to share this with others as we get our subscribers increased. So if you're not a subscriber, we're going to ask you right now to go right over to our YouTube channel, click that subscribe button, and make sure that you subscribe today and share it with others. It is so important that you do that, because then we can get our message to reach others at a far and wide. This is the wide world web, and with your support, we can reach all across this U.S. and the world. Thank you so much for your support. I had an amazing time this evening. I'm a little rusty after 2 weeks. Can you believe it? Got off my rocker, but I started clicking as the show went on. So I'm hoping that you enjoyed it as well. I am Sonia M. Weaver. As always, I encourage you to spend with purpose, because your dollar does matter, and deal with Bob. Have an amazing night. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.